Okay. So we're going to be doing this dice roll example from unit 2, and we're going to do it. So we're going to do the Java version. So I'm just going to go to unit 2 dice roll example and show that here. Maybe I'll open that up. Can I open that up in a new window maybe for you to see? There, let's try that. Okay. So we're going to walk through that tutorial. And again, just to get you used to doing this again. So I'm going to do a new project. I'm going to do an empty views activity. So we're almost always going to do that empty views activity down here. Give it a new name. This will be our dice roller or something like that. I'm just going to modify the package name a little bit with something specific to St. Scholastica or this class. So I'm going to call mine CIS 3334.diceroller. Want to make sure the language should still be at Java. And then I'm going to hit finish. And again, this is set to SDK 10. It really doesn't matter too much what the minimum SDK is at this point. So, but we want to make sure the language is set to Java. Hit finish. Should start this up. It should have my main activity, Java, and my XML file. Remember, one's the layout and one stuff. While it's building, it should be building the Gradle stuff down the bottom. All this stuff, it'll take a while for it to build. And then finally, it'll show me it in Android view, the main activity, and then under resources, layout, the activity layout. And again, we're going to lay out our screen. So where's our little tutorial here? So we did that. So all we want is a text view at the top that says die value and a button that says roll die. So those are our two things. I already have a text view here. I'm going to move that up to the top here. And well, actually, I'm going to delete it and just put in a new one. I'm just going to put in a new text view there. One thing's nice is when I drag in a new text view, it automatically gives it an ID by default, which I like. I'm going to tie that in to the left and the right and the top. Move it down just a little bit. And I'm going to, the initial text, I want to just say, die value here or something like that. It'll display the die value. I'm going to make it a little bigger under the style. You don't have to do that, but I want you to be able to see it. And then finally, the ID, I want it to be text view, die value, or something like that. Let's see what I did in the tutorial. Text view die, I just did. So I'm just going to change that. Text view die, and then hit refactor. And then I want a button underneath that. Tie the button to the bottom, the top of the button to the bottom of this tie value. I'm going to actually center the button by dragging these to both sides. I'm going to change that text to say something like roll die. And the ID will be like button roll. So again, this is our layout. we're setting out our layout, we're figuring out what things are. And then again, one thing we're trying to watch is the IDs, because in our code, we're going to have to access these two IDs here. Okay. Now we're going to go into our code. And here I'm going to grab some code from here just to save us a little bit of time. We're going to declare two variables, a button variable and a text view variable. And again, we want to put those in the main activity, but not in the class. And again, we'll want to import both of those widgets. So I can right click and show context or import, or just hit Control Enter. So I want these two, and again, in your text, in our tutorial, these are the variable declarations right here. And then in onCreate, we're going to tie those. We need to tie those to the layout, and these are the two variables for that. The two commands for that here. Now, if you didn't name things correct the same as I did, you might have to change your r.id to what the text view is, and same with button. But again, so we have a button and a text view. We declare two variables for those. And then in our onCreate, we tie those variables to our IDs, to our widgets in our layout. So we can edit those directly. Now last time, in the last tutorial, we did the button, we tied the button together in the view, but we're coders. We do this in code there. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to scroll down, make the button interactive. There's this set on click listener. I'm going to grab that. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do that inside the onCreate. So stay in onCreate and add this here. When you do, you have to also, again, import the view. So hit your Alt Enter and import that class. So under imports, we should be seeing the view and the widget button and widget text view should all now be imported. So this sets our on-click listener. This just does like we did before, where we went to the button, we set the on-click listener, and here's our method. We have a public void on-click method with a view, and we are just setting the text to hello world. So we're going to text view die, set text, hello world. So again, I just copied this right from the tutorial here. And put it inside the onCreate. So when we initialize things, we set up our tie our two things to our layout, and then we also set up the on-click listener here. Now, we don't have an emulator running yet, but if I just hit run, it should run my emulator for me. So I'm going to hit run to run the emulator. I'm going to pull that out into its own window here. So I can have it over here. So if I hit the button, it should just say hello world at the top of this. Okay, I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to want to roll dice, and I could just do that, but we're going to generally pull stuff out of this main activity class into other classes. So I'm going to create another Java class to roll dice. So again, in my Java window here, I'm going to right click and do, again, right above main activity, right about in that kind of package name, I'm going to right click and say new Java class. And I'm going to call this class die. Oops, I should have called it dice. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to delete it because I want to match that. Delete. That's okay. Okay, right click on here, new Java class and dice. Okay. There. All right. And I'm going to take this code here, this roll method, and just paste it in here. It uses a random class. I'm just going to import that java.util random, and it creates a new random number generator, picks a random number given the number of sides I say to roll, and returns that. And then finally, we're going to add one more line back to our, well, 2 lines. I lied. In our main activity, one is we need a new die. We need a die object. So we're going to say dice die. I'm going to say, yeah, let's put it there. And I'm also going to add die equals new dice to instantiate that object. And then I'm going to paste in this line here from my tutorial. So I went through this really fast. I'm recording this as a separate tutorial. Your job before Thursday is to maybe walk through this again, read the tutorial, maybe listen to the video, and see if you can get this to work here for this. So the last things I did is I added a die object or a variable to my main activity. I then instantiated that. I said new dice. And now rather than just saying set text hello world, I'm going to set text. I'm going to say die.roll, a 6-sided dice, and convert that to a string. And now if I run this, let's see, let's stop this and run it again. If I roll my dice, it should display random numbers between 1 and 6. There. All right. So if you have a chance before Thursday, well, I'm going to wrap up this recording, but try to work through this. I'll help you if you're having problems. Let me just pause. I'm just going to stop this recording.